Kencove Farm Fence is headquartered right here in Blairsville, Pennsylvania, and we love getting involved in our local communities. We're here today at the Blairsville Community Garden, where we're going to be installing a brand new fence for them. It's going to be attractive and it's going to keep out all the unwanted animals so that their plants remain unharmed here in the garden. Today we're just getting a lay of the land and taking some measurements so that we can help them build a better fence. The exterior chain link fence will stay on the lot as it is property of the township. The new fence will be a rectangular shape with a few gates for easy human and vehicle access. 6-foot 2x4 woven wire will fit the context of this build, replace the existing lattice, and look great here while keeping unwelcome wildlife out of the garden. Once the design was approved, we gathered posts, wire, and all the accessories for the project and transported them to the garden. We organized posts according to size to make brace building quick and efficient. The existing lattice needed to come down in order to make room for the new fence line. Climbing plants in these raised beds along this side will be able to use the new woven wire as their lattice. We've got all of our post material as well as our machine here on site. We're ready to start marking for posts and driving them. We do have the Montana driver on the skid steer so we can drive posts as well as auger holes if we hit any rocky conditions. So we're all ready to go. Let's get started. We want clean straight lines on each side of the garden, so we're laying out a string and paint lines to be our visual guide for the perimeter. We started with driving the end and corner posts so that we had fixed points of reference on each line. From there, we assembled braces as we went and calculated the appropriate spacing between our line posts based on the remaining distance from brace to brace. We drove the posts to an appropriate depth, measuring as we went, to ensure that we had enough post reveal for installing the 6-foot tall woven wire. Occasionally while driving posts, we hit rock fill underground, and that required us to break out the auger. The auger broke up and pulled the rocks out and created a straight pilot hole to guide the wood posts as we drove them into the ground. Our single and double H-braces were constructed with H-brace brackets to hold our horizontal posts while pre-drilling for brace pins. Strainers and diagonal brace wire in a double figure 8 pattern help strengthen and add tension to each brace, ensuring a strong finished product. One of our newest products from Strainrite is the Gudgeon Gate Hole Guide. We really enjoyed how easy this tool made it to mock up and install gates. We installed a double gate at the water access point, a main gate for vehicle access, and a man gate on the front corner for quick and easy access on foot. After gates were hung, we did some dry fitting for the gate latches and tested the swing of the gates to make sure everything would line up just right. Once a section of braces and gates were completed, we were able to calculate the line post spacing in between them and drive the posts before moving on to the next section. Once line posts were driven and braces were tensioned, we rolled out the 2x4 woven wire. 2x4 squares make terminating by hand difficult and tight, so we opted to use gripple T-clips at the end terminations for a clean, finished look. After the woven wire was terminated at both endpoints, we cut it at the midpoint and attached stretcher bars and pullers to tension the woven wire with a center pull technique. Once tensioned, we crimp the woven wire back together strand by strand, matching the 2x4 stay spacing for each square. Using the DeWalt staple gun made quick work of fastening the woven wire. We continued this process around the entire garden for each section of fence. Unrolling wire, using Gripple T-clips to terminate, using stretcher bars to tension the woven wire, and then stapling it in place. We added a gate wheel to the 16-foot gate at the main entrance to ensure that the gate would swing consistently and evenly every time without sagging. We put the finishing touches on the project by fine-tuning all the gate latches and accessories and testing each function to make sure it was smooth and easy to use. With the installation now complete, we gathered up our tools and invited some of the local gardeners back out to show them the new garden and get their thoughts on the finished product. We're back here at the Blairsville Community Garden. I'm with Leann. So Leann, can you tell us a little bit of background with this garden?
Sure. It was established in 2012 in partnership with the Borough of Blairsville, who owns the lot, and the Blairsville Community Development Authority, or BCDA. And last year, the Blairsville Elks got a grant for the garden, bought all this lumber, and we rebuilt it, at least 20 beds. Now they're low beds. We have deer and rabbit problems.
Gotcha.
So the BCDA approached Kencove to see if you could help us out with fencing around the area to keep the critters out. And we were excited when we heard that Kencove would be happy to do that and also do it as giving back to the community. So we really appreciate that.
So we tried to kind of match the fence to your needs. So we went with a 6-foot fence, 2x4 woven wire, so really tight, narrow openings to prevent those smaller critters from coming through. Hopefully the 6-foot will take care of the deer issues. And we tried to provide a lot of gate access, whether by vehicle, man gates, wheelbarrows, whatever.
We do appreciate that because we do have vehicles that come through what we call the main alley, bringing in loads of topsoil or bales of straw.
So we did install a couple gates here for you guys. This is obviously the biggest one, the main access gates. This is a 16-footer, and we put it on a gate wheel because that can be kind of a heavy gate, especially all in one post, or if you're carrying something and you're trying to swing a gate. So that wheel will help the gate get all the way out of the way. And we made it a front latching gate for you. So this way it can fold all the way back around onto the fence, be completely out of the way, whether somebody's driving in or pulling straight into the lot, it's out of the way. We also installed a man gate at the corner, just a smaller gate for somebody, just single person access. If they don't want to deal with this large gate, totally swinging it out of the way. If they're just going in on foot to water, or if they're taking a wheelbarrow through, they don't have to deal with the 16-foot gate.
That's great.
Besides that, we had the double gates in the back where the water supply is, and we could take a look at that too. So this is our double man gate for the water access. You mentioned that Boone's Garage lets you catch the rainwater coming off the roof into the water tote, which is great. It's right here to be used for the garden. With this, we did the math a couple different ways, trying to get this as centered as possible on the water tote. But what we also wanted to do is allow a walkway on one side. So if somebody was coming around the perimeter, they weren't trying to squeeze past the water tote. This corner isn't really going to get traveled as much as maybe that edge would. So we gave you a nice buffer on the right side of the tote. Just a double man gate, can unchain it. Again, these are front latches so they can swing all the way back on itself.
That's nice, yeah.
Out of the way. Gardeners can access the water, and then there's also plenty of room to sneak right past this tote.
Right.
For mowing or maintenance,
I was going to say, it's a nice mowing alley
anything
that you left. Yeah, that's great.
Leann, thank you again for coming out here today and walking the garden with us, and for letting Kencove be a part of this project and being involved with the community. That's something we always enjoy. We're always looking for those opportunities. So thank you. Thank you for what you're doing here in the community and making these gardens possible for everybody. We really appreciate that. Is there anything you'd like to add for sake of the community garden?
I would also like to thank Kencove for this donation. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it. Like I said earlier, because of the fencing, we have greater demand for use of the garden. And we do believe we have the nicest community garden fence in the country.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.